Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and I have a really quick, simple swap for you today. You can see my desk is a mess. I have been really busy with Stamp Club, with classes. I had a bowling tournament, a birthday party, la la la. I have a swap tonight to go to, and you've heard me talk about Kindred Inker Swap. It's my upline swap or a meeting, and so I wanted to throw together some quick swaps. I thought I would share it with you really quick. My desk is a mess because I've been working, so we just have to bear with it today. But let me show you, well, I'm not going to show you the card because I don't even think I have one done yet. I have all my little bits and pieces here. We're going to make a card really quick. We're going to use the Thoughtful Wishes stamp set, and really we're only going to use this stamp right here. For the greeting, we're going to use, and it's right here somewhere, but here it is. Come on, Kathy. We're going to use this wishing you the brightest birthday for our greeting. We're going to use the designer series paper that is, what is this called? Thoughtful Journey. And it's really pretty paper this way, but we're going to use some of the backs, some of these, not necessarily that one, more like this kind of paper. And we're going to cut it down, although I've already cut mine down, to 3 inches by 4 inches. That way you can get 2 cards out of one piece of designer series paper. And look, I'm already going all fast because I think I need to hurry, but I'm going to slow down and let's make a card together, okay? I have everything cut and ready to go, and I've done most of the die cutting and the embossing, but I'll show you what I used to do those too. So for the embossing, which we're going to just use a piece of basic white that is 5 1/4 by 4, just a layer on your card, and I used the exposed brick 3D embossing folder, so that's already embossed and ready to go. I'm using boho blue cardstock. I have a piece that's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and I've scored it down the center at 4 1/4. That's just our card base. Again, if I go too fast and you miss those measurements, as soon as I'm done with my video, I'll go to my gallery, which is becreativewithkathy.com, and put all the measurements and all the supply list there. So if you want to remake my card, which I should tell you, I decided I wanted to use this designer series paper, so I went on to Pinterest, found a card I like. I'm casing that card. I don't remember that demonstrator's name, but I'll put her name on my gallery too to make sure that she gets credit for it, because it's a really cute and simple, but it's got that wow, and I should be able to get enough of them made today for my event tonight. So I'm going to just fold this. I guess I should keep going with measurements. I got distracted there by telling you where you could find the measurements. But let me fold this and then we'll go on. Okay, so this is boho blue. Then we have a piece. This is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Remember I told you I cut my designer series paper down to 3 by 4, so it's just a layer there. Okay, and we have our white for the front. You'll need just a piece of basic white that is 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside. And is that all the paper? I think that's all the paper we need. So let's go ahead and start. Well, let's stamp first. So on the inside, I want to take that image that I showed you and just in boho blue, the same color, and just add some interest to the inside of my card, because we want to make sure it's a nice finished card. You know what? I'm going to turn this over and ink it this way. I think you get a better coverage that way. Nice. Okay. I said that was boho blue, just so you know. But like I said, the list is on my gallery. And then simply set this down and let that ink sink in. Now I'm applying pressure so I get, because it's kind of like a solid image here with my flower blossoms, I guess you call those, at the top. So it gets, there we go, nice image on. Oh, and then I need to clean this because we're going to use this stamp again. Where's my chamois? Here's my chamois. Let's just give him a quick scrub. Let's get him nice and clean and do it this way. Because I'm going to stamp him in Versamark next, and I really don't want that boho blue in my Versamark. Okay. Now on that piece of designer series paper that I had, here it is, that layers onto my boho blue, I'm going to stamp this image in Versamark, and then I'm going to heat emboss it in white. And to make sure that the shavings of embossing powder don't stick where I don't want it, I'm going to use my embossing buddy, and I'm going to be pretty heavy. It's pretty dry here in Denver, causes static cling. We don't want that on our card, so make sure I use that. Get my Versamark here, ink up my flower. I think it's a flower. To me it looks more like a weed, but it's a really pretty weed, so we're gonna ink him up. Make sure I get him good. I did a couple of these and I actually missed the top of it, so I'm gonna take my time and make sure I get lots of Versamark on my stamp. Turn that over and I'm gonna just stamp it over here on the left-hand side. Right about, let's say there. That looks good. Again, apply pressure, make sure it gets a nice, good image on my paper. I'm gonna turn my heat gun on now so it's nice and warm. It might be a little bit loud, but that way it's nice and warm when it's time to put that, or melt that embossing powder. Just white embossing powder. Dip that in there, tap off that excess. Look how pretty we could have used that side of the paper, but we'll stick with this side since I've already stamped it. Okay, now let's melt that white embossing powder just till it's shiny so that we can see. Oh yeah, look how fast I have the heat gun all warmed up. And just like that, now you have that pretty flower, image, weed, whatever on my designer series paper. Now, when you emboss, you can see it kind of warps and your paper's not flat anymore. So I'm going to put this on with some liquid glue, and I'm going to make sure I get all the edges because I want it to be nice and flat when it's on my card. So a little bit of liquid glue, and I'm going to make sure I get close to the edges. And then the other nice thing, as you probably know about using liquid glue, is then you can set it onto your cardstock here. And then I'm going to slide it around to make sure it's exactly where I want it. There we go. That looks pretty centered right there, yeah? Okay, so then to make sure my paper is nice and flat on the cardstock, the designer series paper on the cardstock, I'm going to even kind of flatten it out like this with my bone folder, take and get these edges up here, there, and now it's not warped and wrinkled, and you get that nice image like that. That's pretty just like that, isn't it? Very simple. Okay, let's go ahead and put our inside into our card base here. Try to get a nice like that. And then to put my embossed piece, this is the dry embossing with the brick folder. I'm going to put some glue on there, try to get close to the edges too, because that's another thing. The embossing folders warp your paper too, so I'm going to get that as close as I can to the edge of my paper, so when I put it here, my edges, there we go. Let's turn him over and give him a good press so he gets, make sure the edges are done. Now, if you're like me and you put a little bit too much glue in there, be sure and have an adhesive eraser. That takes that liquid glue right off. I did good and I don't have anywhere where I need to erase it, but these things are the bomb and they're cheap and easy to get. If you need information about an adhesive eraser, there we go, you let me know and I'll set you up with a link or something to tell you where to get those. Okay, we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this, and I had them right here. If you saw my desk, you'd be like, how can you find anything, Kathy? Because I can't. Okay, I know they're right here somewhere. Hang on just a second. Find my dimensionals. Here they are. They're right here where I left them. Okay. Oh, and these don't have the tape on them. I'll have to pick all those backs off. Yuck. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, usually I take my dimensionals and I cover them with packing tape, and then that way the backing of the dimensional sticks to the packing tape, and then you don't have to pick all these backs off that you find everywhere. Now, obviously, I hadn't done it to that sheet of dimensionals. Okay, let me take this, and we're going to just put it right here, and I'm going to try to get it centered in there, but so far so good. Is it straight? Nope. Let's get it straight. There, that's better. There we go. Okay, so then let me show you some dies that I'm going to use. Just one set of dies. It's a new set of dies with the rectangles like this, and they all have stitching or some kind of edge to them. They're called the textured note dies. Now, I'll be honest with you, when Stampin' Up! Said that the heckled, deckled rectangle dies were going out. I was really bummed because I really like those, but these are the bomb. And I took this smallest one here and just cut it out of a piece of white, and then using that stamp from the daisy set and some Night of Navy ink, it just fits in there just right. So I might get my head in the camera so I can see. I'm going to pull this down so I can see it. But I'm going to stamp my words right there, straight as I can. Well, I think I did pretty good. Again, letting that dark ink sink into the paper. And I probably should have done this first, because when you use those dark inks like that, they might need a minute, or not a minute, but a few seconds to dry. But you know what? Here, look, I have extra ones here. These have been sitting here. They're dry. Let's use that and get that one out of the way. Okay, and those dimensionals again. Oh, and look, I found my dimensionals that are on. Nope, those are all gone. Doggone it. Okay, we'll have to use the ones with the back. They'll have to peel off. We'll just stick a couple on here. I'm going to take this and put it down here at the corner, so it's evenly spaced on this side and this side, and look how cute. And then one last thing, has to have some kind of embellishment on there, and I think just one simple butterfly here from the Brass Butterflies. Get that glue dot that's underneath the butterfly on there, and I want him at an angle, so I'm going to put him like that. And there you go. I think it's a really cute, easy swap, and I think I could get 13 of them made here excuse me, before I have to go to my event. Again, like I said, if you want the measurements or the supply list, you go to my gallery, becreativewithkathy.com, search and find this picture, and then you'll have all the supply list, all the measurements, and everything right there. All right, if you have any questions, be sure and reach out and let me know. I have so much going on. Like I said, I've been really busy on stage, which is like Stampin' Up's convention is coming. I'm making a bunch of swaps for those. So be sure and come back and visit me. I'll show you all my swaps from convention too. All right, that's, like I said, that's what I have. Have a good day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.